So a few key ideas from Marx here that are worth thinking about in this selection from his manuscripts of 1844. So Marx wants to claim that in a capitalist economy, there is estrangement of the worker from his object. What Marx has in mind here is the idea that, on his view, in capitalism, the worker is creating an object, but he's creating an object for someone else, meaning the consumer, and for someone else, meaning the person who owns the means of production, let's say the factory or business owner. And so the work that the individual does in a capitalist system, according to Marx, estranges him or separates him from himself, because the work is no longer an expression of his creativity and his desire to work and produce. Instead, it's something where he works against his nature to create something for someone else that's owned by someone else. Marx also claims that the more the worker produces, the less he has to consume. Right? Marx's view is the idea that the worker will not be fairly paid for the product he creates because the owner, who owns the means of production, has the ability to hire the worker at whatever wages the owner wants to hire the worker at, because the owner has control of all the ways to make and distribute the goods. So the worker can be paid less and less because their ability to work and create is controlled by the owners of the means of production, the factories, the bankers, the owners of businesses. So Marx wants to say the more value that the worker creates, the more valueless, or in the eyes of society, unworthy the worker becomes. So the worker has their value in a capitalist system from the point of view of Marx only in virtue of the work that they do, and the worker as a human being no longer has value. So the product itself becomes better and better formed, but it deforms the worker who's working so hard just to survive in the capitalist system. His object might become civilized, but his way of life becomes barbarous, meaning just that the worker doesn't have the money to take care of himself, to be educated, because the worker is trapped in this economic system where they are disempowered.